Elas, a former Special Forces soldier, is deeply scarred both emotionally and physically from his time in Afghanistan. The experience has left him paranoid and always on edge. He meets his former friend Jan, who also served with him in the army, at a bar for a drink. Jan tells him that a security firm is looking for a bodyguard to protect a wealthy couple and their daughter, who are visiting France from Central East for a holiday. Jan suggests that Elas should take the offer, but Elas declines, saying he's already working on something else, and leaves the bar. At home, he finds his superior waiting for him. He tells his superior that he's been monitoring Miroslav, but his superior informs him that Miroslav fled a week ago. He advises Elas to rest and take his medication. Without saying a word, Elas leaves the care house for former soldiers and seeks out Jan. After some thought, he agrees to take the job as a bodyguard. Jan reassures Elas about the security firm's reliability, handing him a new phone and some cash. Elas meets Jamal, a Kuwaiti man, at his house, the person he's assigned to protect. Jamal calls Amina, who is scolding a worker for losing her earrings. After introductions, Jamal calls his daughter, Noah, who shows a dismissive attitude toward Elas. The head of security goes over the protocols and informs Elas that he will have access to the cameras on his phone, then shows him to his room. The next morning, Elas takes his post and begins guarding Amina. Later, Amina instructs him to keep an eye on her daughter. Noah attempts to strike up a conversation with Elas, but he remains distant. Noah takes her steak and feeds it to her dog, Boomer. Elas follows her and notices that the two new bodyguards hired alongside him are wearing Amina's expensive diamond earrings. He calls Jan to inquire about the guards, but Jan says he has no information on them and warns him to stay away. The next day, as Elas receives a package, he sees Noah cycling alone without any security. At that moment, a motorbike zooms past, seemingly taking pictures of Noah. Elas notices a distinctive diamond-shaped tattoo on the rider's hand. Alarmed, Jamal scolds his daughter and orders the security to be more vigilant. Elas expresses his concern about the two bikers to the head of security, warning him that they need to be prepared for a potential attack on Jamal that night. Later, Elas takes a casual stroll and sits on a wall, spotting Noah with her microscope. Noah smugly points out a constellation, but Elas corrects her, explaining that it's actually Hercules. After adjusting the microscope, he shows her the correct constellation, Cygnus. Impressed, she asks how he knows so much. Elas opens up about his past as a parachutist in the army, explaining how he's seen these constellations up close. They bond over their shared love for stars and constellations. The next morning, Amina, tired of being cooped up, complains to Jamal. Reluctantly, Jamal arranges a safe ride for them and asks for the other bodyguard to accompany Elas. However, sensing that the other guards might be up to no good, Elas insists that they aren't certified to drive and that he'll take care of them on his own. While Elas waits in the car for Amina and Noah, the head of security inquires about what Elas has been up to. The head of security shows Elas the footage from when he claimed there were two people on the bike, but the security footage shows none. Elas, seemingly confused, figures that someone is probably framing him. After their shopping spree, while Elas is driving them, he spots the same biker again. He starts driving fast to lose them. Amina screams and yells that they've found their hiding spot, sobbing in fear. They reach the house and Elas warns them to go to their rooms. He then asks Noah about the men. Noah reveals how she was living in a large palace-like building, and one day her father, who has 18 daughters and 6 wives, decided to marry her off to a 50-year-old man. So, her mother, Amina, and Noah ran off with the help of her uncle. Elas, sensing something is amiss, decides to confront Jamal, but before he can, someone starts shooting at the house, ultimately killing Jamal. The dog Boomer tries to fend off the attacker, but is tragically killed in the process. Elas kills one of the men, takes his gun and earpiece. Some men, not realizing that Elas isn't one of them, confirm the location of Amina. Elas reaches her and rescues her, but she cries out, saying she doesn't know where her daughter is. After dropping Amina off at the car, he hears a scream and rescues Noah as well. With them, Elas escapes. After some time, they board a bus and reach Elias's adopted father, Nacho's house. However, Sarah, Nacho's daughter, greets Elas with animosity and informs him that Nacho is no longer alive. Elas pleads with Sarah, saying he needs help since he got shot during the altercation. She declares she will help them, but not Elas. The hatred Sarah has toward Elas is revealed when Amina inquires about it. Sarah explains that Elas convinced her brother Dylan to join the army, but during a mission in Afghanistan, Dylan didn't make it. They later saw the news about Elas, who was a suspect in the murder of 5 guards and theft. Elas, paranoid and violent, confronts Amina, accusing her of being the one who pinned the whole thing on him. Sarah takes out her gun and orders him to leave. Elas then kidnaps Yan, who accuses him of going mad and killing the guards. Yan adds that the 3 of them, Jamal, No, and Amina, flew away today. Elas is confused, so they both go to the house, finding it in pristine condition. They check the security camera footage and discover that Elas has actually killed all the guards. However, Yan notices a glitch in the footage, assuming it's a deepfake meant to frame Elas for the murders. Elas instructs Yan to copy the footage to a pen drive. Yan recalls that a man named Durante had specifically requested Elas after seeing his army photos with Yan, claiming that Elas would be a perfect fit since he speaks Arabic well. They both go and torture Durante to extract the truth. They discover that Amina's husband tracked them down and sent a commando army to retrieve No. Elas concludes that he was chosen because of his mental issues, making him an ideal fit for their plan. Elas kills Durant, and they leave to protect Amina and No. Yan suggests they should head to England, but avoid traditional routes. He knows someone who smuggles immigrants illegally into other countries. With a plan in place, they begin driving to meet the person who will help them. Elas notices a suspicious van following him. After driving for a while, they decide to take a break at a hotel. Elas spots a man clutching his wrist and goes outside. He quickly follows him and finds the van he had seen earlier. Inside, he starts killing everyone, and when he removes a cuff link, he discovers dog bite marks, revealing they are part of the commando team. They meet the smuggler, but Noor suddenly says she can't go inside because she feels claustrophobic and scared. Elas reassures her and decides to stay with her to ease her fear. Yan informs them he will follow in his car. Soon after they are inside the van, the commando team arrives, opens fire, and takes Amina No with them. Yan is also captured. Elas survives thanks to the bulletproof vest he was wearing, manages to escape the van, and flees. Meanwhile, Yan, captured by the commando team, warns them to be cautious, as Elas is deadly and reveals that his adopted brother, Dylan, was captured by the Taliban. After not finding his brother for over a month, Elas voluntarily got himself captured by the Taliban in hopes of locating him. The authorities later discovered Elas in a hole with his adopted brother's severed head. The man reviewing Elas's stellar army records warns his goons that Elas is deadly. Using No's tablet, Elas tracks her home, parachutes in, and infiltrates the building. He methodically kills everyone in his way, eventually finding No. A battle ensues, but in the end, Elas saves No, and they both jump down to escape. They then reach Morocco, where Elas's aunt lives, and begin settling into a normal routine. No uploads the original footage online, clearing Elas's name. The next day, Elas drops No off at school, bids her a final goodbye, and leaves Morocco for good. As for the ending, when No mentions her father's name, Sheikh Abdul Alahad, Elas seems visibly disturbed. In the final scene, when he sees photos of Abdul, it feels like he recognizes him. This could suggest that Abdul is part of the Taliban group responsible for killing his brother, or perhaps this is why Elas is leaving Morocco to seek revenge. I could be wrong, of course. The actor portraying Elas has done a phenomenal job capturing the emotional weight of the character. After losing his brother, he becomes a shell of his former self, as we hear from Yan when he opens up to Amina at the restaurant. I hope he finds peace one day. Next, Amina, who describes her husband as a tyrant, bravely escaped him to protect her daughter. Sarah, Elias's adopted sister, is consumed by grief, but ultimately, her brother made the decision to join the army. I hope Sarah can come to terms with her brother's death and reconnect with Elas. This could help bring some normalcy back to Elias's life. Noor, at just 13, has witnessed a level of trauma that will undoubtedly leave lasting scars. Seeing her mother lose her life and a father preoccupied with his own goals is a heart-wrenching ordeal. Hopefully, with the support of Elias's aunt, who will serve as a maternal figure, Noor will find solace and happiness in the future.